I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
And true that the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently, so there is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah, weird. So we didn't do that this time. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024 all of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows now, listen if. Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea, maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood, and put an actress in there that not only hates the plot in the storyline of the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character herself. Gadot is obviously done with Rachel Zegler and her attitude surrounding the Snow White movie, as she's proven it in many interviews, while Rachel loves to trash talk the original. Story gal has turned the opposite direction and is refusing to entertain what Rachel is saying. Rachel Zegler has been incredibly vocal with her opinions on the movie. Not only has she been insulting the old version and its themes, as she doesn't believe the love story is in any way relevant or necessary, but she's also been calling Snow White's character outdated. Rachel has made the movie seem extremely political by always condemning the original movie and bringing feminism and all the changes Disney has made to the plot into the conversation, which fans have been less than happy about. In fact, fans think she's acting incredibly entitled by making it sound like this is the only right version and that the politics of it are what's saving the movie. Not only did she insult the original legacy of the movie, but she also insulted her co-star Andrew by making it seem like he's not important to the movie despite being one of the main characters. Gadot has taken a complete opposite stance to all of this, as she's been making it very clear that she doesn't necessarily agree with the way Rachel is talking about the movie. Rachel has gotten a lot of backlash online because of her views, and Gal has never once commented on it or tried to defend Rachel from the negativity, proving that she might agree with the comments. It's clear that the movie is not about the political agenda in Gal's eyes, and every time she's spoken about the movie and her character in interviews, she's very obviously stayed away from politics. The only thing she's really said about the movie is that it's been retouched to appeal to modern audiences, while also avoiding any controversy. Many fans believe that Gal is trying to distance herself from Rachel's views and comments by not mentioning any of it herself, as it's been made very clear by her that she doesn't agree or think the same things in every interview. Gal seems to have let Rachel done all the talking when it comes to the modernization of the movie. Even if it's nothing bad, it's often Rachel who is seen commenting on the changes made to the plot, as Gal often focuses on her own character and her experience on the set. Rachel has even brought this conflict to social media because of the way she oftentimes addresses hate and the negativity on Twitter. She's been seen arguing with fans over her Snow White role multiple times and often brings politics into her roles online. This is something Gal has quickly learned not to do, as she doesn't want to put herself into that battlefield. It seems like Rachel has not learned to keep things to herself in order to avoid getting and it's something that Gal has perfected, as she has completely stayed away from the negativity by doing so, while Rachel often still gets backlash and will probably continue to do so. Gal has barely gotten any comments despite being her co-star. It's very obvious that Rachel's attitude is what has made this so much worse, and Gal has learned to do the complete opposite in order to stay away from that kind of backlash. Gal letting Rachel do all the controversial talking can also have something to do with the fact that she's been very clear about her stance on movies regarding powerful women. Something she's commented on in the past is that she doesn't necessarily like this new portrayal of women in films, as she feels like it often takes away from the beauty of being a woman. She often thinks that women are starting to be written more and more like men, which erases some of what it means to be a woman. She's also addressed how she doesn't like it when male-centered movies get female remakes, like how she is often offered to simply swap a male character for a female one. When offered scripts, she instead feels like it would be better to focus that energy into making a new movie that can be all about women and how being a woman is important to their identity. Some fans think this could even be shaded at the new Snow White movie, since this is something many people have been criticizing Disney for lately. Disney keeps making remakes of its old movies, like with Snow White, and often changes the plot in order to appeal to modern audiences, or to make sure it's more feminist. This is something many fans disagree with, as people just want to see their old favorite movies come to life, and not an entirely new one. If Disney wanted to tell these modern stories, they should make new, exciting modern movies that can actually focus on telling these stories about women without having to change everything about the core material. Snow White is a great example of Disney having to change practically everything in order to make it feminist, and it sounds like Gal heavily disagrees with that decision, which is why every interview she's been focusing on the story itself instead of the politics. Like Rachel, Gal often steers the conversation in interviews to be about the story itself and her character. Specifically, she loves to talk about how it is to play the evil queen and how she feels adapting such a beloved story, while also talking more about the world building and the positive thematics regarding the movie. Steering clear of politics and making it about the story itself has been a very smart move on her part, as she's made it very clear that this is all about art. To her, movies are art, and stories are art, which is why the politics don't matter. As long as a movie itself can honor the artistic vision of filmmaking, it's still possible to make a modern movie that modern audiences would love without having to bring in all sorts of politics to it. And it's something Gal understands much more than Rachel. This might also have something to do with the fact that Gal has experienced playing Wonder Woman, which has been able to show an incredible story about strong female characters without making it too political. It's an art she's mastered, and it's clear she's done with Rachel's attitude, as she refuses to listen to those around her and do what Gal is doing. While every interview Rachel has done regarding Snow White has turned into how bad the old story is, Gal has always tried to keep things fun and uplifted, as she gives us new and fresh perspectives on how it was working for the movie. For example, Gal shared a really heartwarming story talking about how her daughter responded to her playing the evil queen, and she kept it very lighthearted, which can only make fans excited for her role. Gal shared that her daughters were extremely excited when they first heard that their mom would be in Snow White, and that they can't wait to see her. However, her middle child seemed to hilariously misinterpret who exactly Gal was going to play. Gal said, "My middle child was a bit disappointed that I wasn't Snow White. When I told them I'm going to shoot Snow White for a month, she was convinced that I'm going to play Snow White." She shared this all in good fun and never once made a negative comment surrounding the movie or how she was actually playing the bad guy instead of the good role that Rachel is playing. Gal also shared that she had to clarify to her daughter that she's playing the evil queen and not Snow White, and added that her oldest daughter said, "Oh, how appropriate." Fortunately, Gal was not insulted by this in the slightest, and even found it hilarious. As she shared the story, learning from Rachel's mistakes, it's clear that she's learned to always put a positive spin on things, even when it's criticism from her own daughters. Gal has also been really good with actually talking about the evil queen's personality instead of the politics regarding the character, as she gave us an insight into how exactly she's been portrayed. I wanted to make sure that we keep her delightful and delicious, and we understand what makes her tick. Then the evilness is interesting and not just flat. She also shared that she had so much fun playing the evil queen, and that she even feels honored to play the role, as she celebrated the fact that this was the very first Disney villain. Unlike Rachel, she never once insulted the original story, and even seems to celebrate the fact that they're able to adapt this iconic piece of media that started the Disney empire. It's clear Gal has a lot of love for the character and the story, and she even talked about the fact that this is a musical and how amazing it has made the experience for her. And because it's a musical, I could stretch my performance and make it so much more dramatic and so much more animated that it was just simply delightful. Gal has made a lot of insights into her character and made sure that she truly understood the original version of the evil queen, as she seems to be relatively unchanged by Disney's decisions, and it's clear that she truly understands the dynamic between Snow White and the evil queen. For me, it was making sure the queen is not just evil for the sake of being evil. Between the two characters, it's like a mother-daughter relationship in a weird way. What do you guys think of Gadot being done with Rachel's attitude? Do you think she's purposely stayed away from the drama? Let me know down below, and don't forget to check out this other video.